The cruise industry may seem like a dream vacation, endless buffets, crystal blue oceans, and cabins that feel like cozy havens after long days of sun-soaked adventure. But behind the spotless towels and neatly folded animal-shaped linens lies a world most passengers never see. The cabin stewards, the unsung heroes who work tirelessly to make your trip comfortable, carry stories and frustrations you might never imagine. While they smile politely and wish you a good morning, there are certain things they secretly wish you'd stop doing. And if you've ever been on a cruise, chances are, you've been guilty of at least a few of them. It begins at embarkation day, when the ship buzzes with excitement. Hundreds of passengers flood the decks, hauling their luggage through the narrow corridors. Most of them don't realize that behind those identical doors, cabin stewards are racing against time, preparing every room for the next batch of travelers. They clean, restock, and reset hundreds of cabins before the ship even leaves port. So, when a passenger arrives early and tries to sneak into their room before it's ready, that's frustration number one. The stewards can't do their job properly when people keep interrupting. But of course, they smile and say, "Just a few more minutes, please," while inside, they're silently begging for patience. Then there's the towel situation. Every passenger seems to have a different idea of what to do with their used towels. Some leave them in a pile on the floor, others hang them in random places, even over lamps or balcony rails. A few guests, unfortunately, use towels to mop up spills or wipe off makeup. For the cabin steward, who's been trained to treat every towel like it's a symbol of cleanliness, it's a small nightmare. They know you'll need fresh ones, but they also know laundry on a ship is no small task. There's a strict quota, and every misplaced towel means extra work and wasted time. Cabin stewards are often multilingual, hardworking individuals from countries like the Philippines, Indonesia, and India. Many of them work months at sea, sending most of their earnings home. They're proud of what they do, keeping the ship spotless, attending to guest requests, and making sure every detail feels luxurious. But there's a hidden truth. Some passengers treat them like invisible workers. They'll walk past without a greeting, or worse, snap their fingers for service. It's not just disrespectful, it's disheartening. The stewards remember those moments, even if they never show it. One of the biggest frustrations comes from how guests treat the "Do Not Disturb" signs. Some passengers leave the sign up all day, preventing the steward from entering. When the guest finally leaves the cabin late in the evening, they expect it to be spotless. The problem is, by then, the steward is already deep into turndown service for hundreds of other rooms. They'll still do it, of course, quickly changing sheets, folding towels, restocking toiletries, but it throws off the entire schedule. And on a ship, time isn't flexible. Everything runs on a tight clock. Then there's the issue of trash. You'd be surprised how many passengers treat their cabin like a landfill. Empty bottles, pizza boxes, cigarette butts, yes, even though smoking is banned inside cabins, all left scattered around. Cruise ships have strict waste management systems, and the stewards are responsible for sorting certain types of garbage before disposal. So when someone leaves half-eaten food in the sink or hides trash under the bed, it's more than just gross, it's extra time and effort for someone who's already stretched thin. Some guests also ignore one of the simplest courtesies on board, tidying up a little before leaving for the day. Cabin stewards don't expect your room to be spotless, but when they have to navigate around heaps of clothes, shoes, and electronics just to make the bed, it slows everything down. They have 20 to 25 cabins to clean each day, and every extra minute adds up. The messier the cabin, the harder the day becomes. There's another unspoken rule, one that's often broken: don't treat the steward like your personal butler. Asking for extra pillows, ice, or towels is fine, that's part of their job. But demanding 5 blankets, rearranging furniture, or calling them repeatedly for minor things can cross the line. They'll still smile and accommodate you, but behind that smile is exhaustion. They're juggling requests from dozens of cabins at once, trying to please everyone. Another thing that drives them crazy: when passengers try to hide damage or spills. It happens more than you'd think. Someone spills red wine on the carpet, or sunscreen leaks onto the sheets. Instead of reporting it, they try to cover it up. But stewards are trained to spot everything. And when they do, they know it'll come out of their cleaning time, or worse, it might be counted against them in inspection reports. Cruise lines take cabin cleanliness seriously. One failed inspection can mean losing a bonus or a day off. Tipping is another delicate subject. Many guests assume that the automatic gratuity included in their bill covers everything, but that's not always the case. Cabin stewards often rely on extra tips to support their families back home. A small envelope with a note of thanks can make a big difference. When passengers don't leave anything, or worse, demand extra service without appreciation, it stings. They'll never say it, but they remember who treats them kindly. The worst offenses, however, are the ones that cross personal boundaries. Some guests leave personal items lying around, medications, underwear, even private belongings, in plain sight. Others walk in unexpectedly while the steward is cleaning, startling them. A few guests even make inappropriate comments or jokes. For a job that already requires 14-hour days, dealing with disrespect can be demoralizing. Then there's the minibar, a small but frequent source of frustration. Guests often consume drinks and snacks, then try to deny it later. The steward has to log every item meticulously, and when something doesn't match up, it causes problems with their supervisors. Similarly, guests sometimes use the minibar fridge to store personal food, which the staff isn't allowed to handle due to hygiene rules. When that food spoils, the smell lingers, and guess who has to clean it? Another issue comes from passengers who constantly change the air conditioning settings. Cabins are part of a centralized system, and excessive changes can cause condensation or even flooding in the vents. Stewards know how delicate the systems are, and they dread the moment they find water pooling on the floor because someone cranked the AC too cold. There's also the phenomenon of phantom complaints. A guest might report that something wasn't cleaned or that service was late, not realizing the steward did their best within impossible time limits. Even a small complaint can have big consequences for them. They're monitored, evaluated, and graded every week. One bad comment can affect their position for the next contract. But perhaps the thing that hurts most is when guests forget that cabin stewards are people, not machines. They have families, birthdays, and children they haven't seen in months. Many work 10 months straight before going home. Some even skip shore leave to catch up on rest or send money home through spotty Wi-Fi. They clean up after parties they'll never attend and decorate rooms for anniversaries and honeymoons they're not part of. Yet they still do it with pride. It's not all frustration, of course. There are guests who remember their steward's name, who smile every morning, who say thank you. Some even bring small gifts or handwritten notes. Those moments stay with them forever. They become reminders that their hard work matters. They know that for many travelers, this cruise is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and they want to make it special. One steward once said, "We see people at their happiest, but we also see the truth." How someone treats staff says everything about who they are. For every rude passenger, there's another who takes the time to appreciate them, who leaves the room tidy, who tips a little extra. Those are the ones who make the job worth it. So the next time you board a cruise ship, remember that your cabin steward is quietly working to make your stay flawless. Give them a smile, a little patience, and some respect. Don't barge in before your room is ready, don't leave trash everywhere, and don't treat them like invisible workers. They may never tell you how much it means, but it does. Behind every perfectly made bed, every towel folded into a swan, and every sparkling bathroom mirror, there's someone who gave up their own comfort for yours. Their day starts long before sunrise and ends long after you've drifted to sleep. They may never complain, but they notice everything, every mess, every gesture, every word. They're not just cleaning your cabin, they're shaping your vacation. And when you walk away from that ship at the end of your journey, suitcases full and heart light with memories, they'll already be preparing for the next guests, starting all over again, smiling, efficient, and quietly hoping that this time, maybe, people will understand. Because for cabin stewards, the sea isn't a vacation. It's life, one long voyage made up of endless work, fleeting kindness, and the silent wish that every passenger they serve will remember that even the smallest act of respect can turn their hardest day into something a little brighter.